We're going to be talking about C-type goals and what's pretty fun about C-type goals. What's up, Simon? It's good to see you, man. Um, C-type goals. When I heard this training, when I really understood what this actually was, I was like, this is a whole different way of goal setting. I know a lot of us have heard like SMART goals, where we need that acronym of SMART goals. Um, Goal setting should be fun. Goal setting should be exciting. Goal setting should light this fire in you that you're like, wow, I actually know what I'm going towards because now I have an emotional connection with my goal. And for me, SMART goals, like setting a SMART goal, I'm like, did I really ever get emotionally invested with a goal setting like that? I
Mm-hmm.
didn't. Some people do. Some people that works. I didn't understand that it needed to have this emotional impact
Mm-hmm.
attached to the goal. And so when I heard this training for C-type goals, there's A-type goals, B-type goals, and C-type goals. And our only job is to figure out a C-type goal that we can get emotionally involved with and then just stay in that emotional state with that goal. And I'm gonna run through a little bit of things, but I kind of want to get Phemy's insight because I know you've done C-type goals, and I know these have changed your life. So, just touch a little bit on what actually like A-type goals are something that we have already done. So, in your life, if you were setting a goal and you're like, man, I really want to hit XYZ number of dollars, but you've already done that. You know how to do it. And then you go and set that goal again. What does that feel like?
Mm.
It's like we've already done it. So it's
Yeah,
like we already know how to do it. There really isn't much of a, you kind of just go do the thing.
yeah, it's kind of normal. It's kind of like your everyday thing, like how your A-type goals in the morning is like you taking a shower, brushing your teeth.
Yeah. It's like you already did it. You've already done it before. You've proven it you
Hmm.
yourself. There's really not much to get hyped up for. Or he's kind of like A-type goals are literally the standard. Like the moment you've done it. So for anybody that's like, for instance, if you've hit a certain income level, let's say you've hit a 5K or 10K at one time in your entire life, but you're not there now. And you're like, okay, I want to hit, let's just go with 5K. I want to hit 5K. You've already done it. So there's no part of the process. You're like, I know how to do this. And so there is nothing that you're solving for. And so that's really hard to get back to that emotional uh goal
Hmm.
of being able to do it because you already know how to do it. Um Now if you were to say, I want to hit 7K, but you've maybe hit 5 or 6K, and that would be considered a B type goal, where you kind of know you have a thought. You know that you can accomplish it if you do a little bit more than what you've already done. You might not have ever hit the goal at that current level, but you know if you do a few more sales calls or a few more things or what however you make the money, um, if you have one more client, you know that you can hit that goal.
Yeah.
Now, if your goal was a C-type goal and it was, we're just going to go a drastic number. Let's say you wanted to hit 25K a month. That's a big stretch compared to the 5K that you've already previously hit, and that's the most you've ever made. Let's say 25K is drastically different. That would be a C-type goal because you have no idea how to do it. You don't know how it's going to happen. Your mind has to stretch and completely change, and you have to get emotionally involved with a different idea in order to be able to accomplish that. And I use those just as a little bit of a metric. Um, to show like the magnitude of what's happening. Um, these obviously can be in fitness, these can be in health, these can be in relationships. They don't just have to be monetary goals, um, but they have to be something you don't know how to do.
Yeah, 100. 100%. And honestly, anyone, where everybody should be, when it comes to setting goals, especially after you know how to do something, B type goals and up. B type goals should be your everyday stretch, like your everyday goal. You're doing something you think you know how to do, right? And you know you're taking the actions towards it, you're accomplishing it, you're setting it. And the C type goals, we always need to have C type goals in pretty much every season in our lives. Why? Because it stretches you. It stretches you and it places you in different rooms, puts you in front of different information. It makes you uncomfortable because C type goals are really goals that are supposed to be big and inspiring and almost scary, almost to the point where you're asking yourself, how am I going to do this? But I'm going to do it, because again, as we're always saying, it isn't the how, it's knowing the what. What is it that you want to do? And then from there, allowing the doors, the people, and the things and the circumstances to align and help you do so. So with C type goals, it's something that you should definitely, it should be deeply like desirable, but logically speaking, it should sound like this person is
Right.
nuts. Like this person is nuts. Like if you talk to someone about a C type goal, they should look at you like, buddy, how you gonna do that? And obviously it's only because the perspective that they have, they only know you for who you were, right? They don't know who you're becoming, they don't know the end in mind. And again, you guys, vision that you have, it's for you. So no one's going to see it. Okay? Vision is for you. So of course it's gonna look like that, but that's what it's supposed to look like. But the biggest thing I'll tell you, your C type goal must be backed. It must be backed by faith and belief. Whatever
Mm.
C type goal you have, it has to be backed up by faith and belief, you know, because if you don't believe in what you're doing, then you're gonna allow the doubts and all of the questions, the how, the what, the small details. You're gonna let people in. You're gonna buy people's opinions. So you should really ask yourself only, all right, who am I becoming to achieve this? And you have to believe in it, even if it is wild.
Even if it's wild. What
Hmm.
is up, Aaron? Hop in. Um, we're going over C-type goals. So, A-type goals are, and I'm going to drop this in the chat really quick. A-type goals is something you've already done. There's no growth in these type of goals, so we can just kind of like drop those out. We don't need them. B-type goals is something you think can happen, and C-type goals is something you really want, but you don't know how to get it. And so, in the process of becoming your C-type goal, it's
Yeah.
not what we get, it's who we become.
Hmm.
And we
Exactly.
cannot become something new if we aren't growing, if we aren't changing,
Hmm.
and if we don't get new ideas from new people. Um, I have a few questions to ask you guys in order to help you kind of like start to think of a goal. If you don't have one clearly defined, that's okay. That's what we're doing. These questions hopefully will help you get back into the frame of mind of what your goal is. And if it's something that you have had a goal before, like I actually had a pretty good C-type goal back in January, and I lost the feeling for it
Hmm.
because I got emotionally involved with another goal.
Hmm.
And that's okay. But I still felt kind of weird because I was like, you didn't even do this one. And I'm like, I don't want it anymore. And it's like, we're allowed to change. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to
Mhm.
change your beliefs. You're allowed to change. You just got to get refocused back into the next thing. Um, and in this, hopefully, these questions will help you guys kind of craft what's new. But I want everybody to write down the first part of how to set a goal. And this is like through and through. If you guys have a blue pen, blue pens, don't ask why. It's just a thing that helps you learn better. Um, it's just
Scientifically,
science.
it's
Science
a
is
mental, it's a mental thing.
it's a mental thing. Bob Proctor always just says, I didn't ask why, I just did it. This guy- um, but blue pens, when we're writing goals, when you're taking notes for anything, just pro tip, blue ink is scientifically said to help you retain memory, better than anything else. But with this one, when we start a goal, we always start with, I am so happy and grateful now that I am. And then we'll finish your goal at the end after we go through all these questions. So the first part is, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am. And then we'll insert the rest of it.
Mhm.
Um, but some of these questions, um, hopefully we'll stretch your mind, and we'll sit there and we'll dissect them. And if you guys, I think this actually would be pretty fun if you want to if you want to unmute, and kind of expand on an idea. I'm totally down for that. Um, I'd love to be able to kind of go through these, with you guys so that we can craft an amazing goal that you feel so excited about, so um, invested in the idea that when you get off this call, you're like, let's freaking go. I can go run through brick walls because I know what I want. I don't
Mhm.
really need to know how to get it. I just need to know what I want. Um, and so the first question that I would ask you guys is my goal big enough based on what I know I have achieved, based on what you know is achievable, is my goal big enough? And if it is, amazing. If it's not, let's stretch it a little bit. Um, that would be question number one. This is a good one. If I knew that success was inevitable, would I make my goal bigger? Would I go for a bigger impact? If I knew that success was inevitable, if I had the spirit of knowing that my goal, no matter what I set, was done, would I make it bigger? And for me, it was true. I made my goal bigger after I heard that question.
I just made my goal bigger.
Yeah. You're like,
I'm
once you,
like, that's small potatoes. Like, why are you thinking that? Like, you've made that amount of money before, like, just
mm,
in a different, like, that's like I've made that amount of money before.
yeah. And
Mhm.
if you've made it in a different way than the way that you're currently trying to make it, then you've already made that money. So
Exactly.
you have to stretch in a different way.
I just stretched it in a big way.
Yeah,
That's good.
that's so good because I know that that's a stretch for
I
you.
was thinking of something like I told you guys that, and I was thinking of what I wanted to make. Like, I had that, like, it's in my truck, like, what I want to make, like,
Mhm.
per year passively. And then I was like, well, why are you like, why did you just make that goal? Like, that's not even like, that's like not anywhere near like what you actually wrote on that like piece of like what you look at every day in your truck. Like,
Mm.
no,
That's
Okay.
so
Yeah,
good.
that is good. That's good.
Has has your goal become a routine? Are you just reciting words?
Mm. That's good.
For me, when I changed my mind on my goal, it was because it was just a routine. I was reading, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have a new job. That was commission based plus salary or like salary plus commission, able to travel the world. I was just reciting words and I wasn't emotionally involved with it. And I was like,
Mm,
this doesn't give me an emotional impact anymore. And so I was like, let's reconsider.
mm. I love that
And
question.
next one is, what about your goal makes you come alive? What piece of your goal lights that spark, makes you come alive? What part, when you read your goal, makes you come alive?
The
Mm,
person that I need to become, like who I need to become,
Me too.
the lives that I can impact, that I like, it's who I can become, and the lives that I would impact in making, in achieving that goal. Because in order to achieve the goal that I want to achieve, it's not something that I can just do on my own. Like
Mhm.
I have to go out and impact someone. I have to go out and impact Grace's life. I have to go out and impact Femi's life. I have to go out and impact like a lot of people's lives to make that happen.
So exciting.
So good.
It's like getting emotionally involved with those people, even though we might not know them. It's like, I'm so happy and grateful now that I get to impact thousands of people's lives.
I think about how it would impact like my children's life.
Mm,
Like my daughter wants to learn about financial literacy because it's like something that they're doing in school, like, but it's like it's not actually like financial literacy. I was
right.
like, she was telling me about it, and I was like, we were having a conversation like a couple of days ago, and I was like, well, do you know the difference between like what's a liability and what's an asset? She was like, and I explained, she's like, oh. And I'm like, okay, what do you want? Do you want more assets or do you want more liabilities? And she's like, I want more assets. And I'm like, there, you're already smarter than like, you're already
Yes.
smarter than like 95% of people in this world.
No, for real.
Like you figured out you want more assets than liabilities.
That's good.
That's so cool because it's like impacting her. And it's like that not only impacts her from the age she's at now, but for the rest of her life. She's thinking about assets instead of liabilities. It's crazy. Um, and that started with you. Just
Exactly.
here's another one. Okay. Does this goal really make you feel jazzed? Do you feel excited? The way it was phrased when Bob asked Matt that question was literally, does this goal make you feel jazzed? I probably wouldn't say that language, but does this goal make you feel excited? Um,
Mm,
Yes.
I think Aaron's got his mic unmuted. What's up, Aaron?
Yeah, but going back, actually, I just had a great opportunity, kind of been speaking it to existence, writing it down, preparing for it, and actually, one of my designs is going to be in a Colorado art gallery,
She.
which is really cool. I was going to say 3 days ago, a poet reached out to me to create a poster design based on her poetry. I completed that design in 1 day. So, I was very happy. And my client was very satisfied with the design. And so that happened. So that's my first project, design project this year. And like I said, there's many more in store. But like
Let's
I said,
freaking
yeah, I all started with consistency and preparation. And she follows me on TikTok. She's seen my designs. She's also then seen my poetry because I share poetry also. She resonated with the things that I was sharing. And so when she had an opportunity, she shared it with me to contribute to her project. And
wow.
so, like I said, just show up, do what you love, and that consistency pays off too. A lot of times it might seem like it's going to be a long way, but you just have to keep showing up. So that was the first step for me. And like I said, I just has been very good at what you talked about earlier, discipline, consistency. And then when that opportunity or project does come, you're not going to be resistant towards it because you know the value that you bring. You
Mhm.
already start putting the work in before the opportunity showed up, in a sense. And
Big.
another thing about opportunity is every day. You
Mm-hmm.
every day you have a chance to learn, you have a chance to grow, you have a chance to evolve, you have a chance to spread joy, and do all these great things. So a lot of times we might look at the big goal. Of course, you look at the big goal, but realize the opportunity is preparing you actually right now. So what are you going to do now? Just starting now. And I like that you and Femi talked about that. Like, okay, start now. How embody those characteristics now, and that's something that I've definitely been doing.
Let's go. So
So cool.
congratulations.
That is a great looking sweater, my friend. That's a great looking sweater, Aaron. It looks warm and comfy, and it
It
looks good
is.
on you. And it would probably be really good for me up here in Canada. Keep me warm.
Aaron's looking sharp today.
That's
Oh,
amazing. I love it.
and Aaron, you've been preparing, you've been planting the seeds for so long that an opportunity presented itself and there was zero resistance because it's in alignment with what you already want, because you know
Mhm.
what you want.
What you want.
It's so cool how that like it just speeds up when we already know what we want.
So
Definitely.
Ugh,
awesome. Love it.
that's so cool. And it's like I'm sure that that made you feel pretty excited.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Probably.
yes. And like I said, when the opportunity was presented, I was already ready. Like I said, I just started very fast. And like I said, the project was done very quickly. Everyone's satisfied. And like I said, things are moving forward. So, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, very exciting.
Everything works in your favor.
Happens by law.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Oh, that's so good, man.
It's good.
Cool. I think we got a few more questions, and then if you guys want to kind of dive deep on each goal, then we can craft those. Let's see. We've got does it make you feel excited or does it make you feel safe? If it makes you feel safe, we should stretch a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
I had this thought. I read this in Psycho Cybernetics that we all want, every one of us has is this like desire to express courage and faith.
Mhm.
And I just thought that put it to your goals, like your it's not that you like remember it's not that you should feel like scared. It's that it like your goals should like excite like it should excite is that courage inside of you that like oh you're gonna have to face like some challenges and some
Yeah.
fears and some like you're gonna have is you're gonna have to express courage and faith to make it happen and it's like it shouldn't scare you it should excite that courage and faith like should have to express it right you know just a
Mhm.
thought.
So it's so true because it's like things that we do that are worth it tend to be scary and or daunting or all of the little like feelings, like the emotional feeling you get. I don't know about you guys, but I get like my hands will get a little bit sweaty. You get that little drop in your stomach. You get a little like you're like, I guess we're doing this, and you finally do it, and then you grow. And you can only grow once you go through that experience, and however that shows up physically for your body.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, it shows up differently, but
Yeah,
everybody
that's
knows what that thing.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's that courage and faith that we all want to we all that feeling of courage and faith that we all want to express, whatever that is, right? And you get the butterflies in your stomach, the sweaty palms, like your mind kind of starts to race. It's like it's that courage and faith that oh, this is, yeah, this is something you've never done before, right? It's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to like yeah,
It's
Yeah.
the spiritual thing. It's the
yeah,
spiritual weights.
yeah.
And if you guys feel that, I get so excited now. Even if I'm like initially nervous, I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing something right. because I can't grow without this feeling. As much as we try to like
Mm,
never have that feeling,
so
that's
good.
actually a good sign. That's a good sign that we're doing something that is stretching us. Then another question to ask yourself is this goal influenced by someone else's opinion,
Mm,
Mm.
or is it your own? And if we get really clear on what we want, not on what somebody else wants for us, um, we can craft something that actually excites us. What part of my goal is fully my idea?
mm,
And then let's see. And then we got, I think, two or three more um, questions that you guys can reflect on. This one is, what would my goal look like if I removed all limiting beliefs?
mm,
I wanted to add something to this topic also is when you have the idea of that goal and each time it excites you, that's pretty much the green light that say, hey, this is for you to take action towards your goals. And for people that's not taking action towards their goals and they find it very hard to, think about this. And this is a great question to reflect on. If I take action towards this goal, will it bring me peace?
Hmm.
If I don't, would I still have peace? And that's something to think about because a lot of times
It's
you could say,
amazing.
well, oh, then I would, if I don't take this, then I would be regret not taking the opportunity or not taking action towards my goals. So if I do take action towards my goals, I would actually have peace because I'll be glad that I actually stepped out and actually tried it or did it or explored. So that's one of the questions that we can do that can help us break that stagnancy.
That's
mhm.
so good.
I love that.
That's amazing, my friend.
I love
Thank
that.
you.
You just made me like really, yeah, like th- that's why I may sometimes I feel like I don't like there's something I feel right now that I need to do because of it. It's gonna bring me peace. And
Mm,
it's like that's why I need to do it is that it's this is going to bring me peace because if I don't do it,
mhm,
I'm going to regret it.
mm, mhm,
Big time.
mhm. For real. That's good.
Nice. And then I think our last question is, how emotionally charged is your goal right now?
Mm,
And if we can get to a place where our goal is so emotionally charged that we just see it and you light up because you know that in order to have it come to light, we got to impact something. We got to do something bigger than ourselves. We have to stretch and grow. For me, when I finally attached my goal to other people, it
mm,
became more. And I've set plenty of goals for dollar numbers. I've set plenty of goals for like just things that would impact me. Um, and when I finally set a goal to that is attached to helping other people specifically, um, it finally felt there. I was like,
mhm,
oh, that's what drives me is the emotional impact, the connection that I have with somebody else and impacting them. Uh, and so whether it's something, so for instance, um, and I'll just read you guys my goal, but um, when I finally shifted it to helping the other person, I was like, oh, the dollar number, like that all just happened as a byproduct. But
uh-huh.
I needed to attach it to somebody else. And so it says, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm earning X number of years building a building my core 10 partnerships within my business, going wherever it makes the most sense for my soul and business.
Mhm,
And I see that it embodies this 10 core partnerships, like these 10 people that I don't know. Some I might know. Some might actually be in my business already. They just the core development of those partnerships haven't been made. Um,
Mhm.
but being able to go wherever makes the most sense for my soul and business is a piece to the location neutral aspect of not having to be in one spot. That gives me so much enjoyment and excitement because it's something that I currently don't know how to do completely. Um, and as far as building the core 10 partnerships, I might know them, I might not. But I know that if these 10 people get to this certain level in their business, then I'll hit all of my goals. And then all of those things will make sense. And so when I finally attached it to another person, it was like, oh, that's fun. I can get up in the morning every single day. Be like, who are my 10? Who are my 10? How am I developing them?
Mm. That's good.
It, it finally hit, finally landed. And so if you guys have any questions on your goals. If you guys want to share any of your goals, feel free to drop them in the chat. Feel free to open up on Zoom. We'd love to be able to help you guys get to a point where you walk away from this being like, let's freaking go. Like, let's
Yes,
get.
I love it. I definitely want to, while you guys are doing that, whether you're going to be dropping it or sharing it, want to add format to how you write your C-type goals. Um, and one of my masterminds, I'm getting mentored, by someone that's worth a lot of money. But again, it's not just because he's worth a lot of money, but it's the person that he had to become, to be at that point of, mentoring billionaires and things of that nature. And he also too worked with Bobby P. Um, and he was breaking down and understanding how some of your goals may be evergreen goals, right? Like things that you're continuously doing, right? So there's not necessarily a date on it, there's not necessarily a number. It's just, I'm so happy and grateful now that whatever that thing is. And it's like ever going, like you're always doing it, and the goal that you said, like that's an evergreen goal. There's no date on it, there's no specific
Yeah.
number. That is something that you're going to constantly be doing in your lifetime, in your business, with as many people as you come across, you know
Yeah.
and also too, for C-type goals, just like a few points of how to be effective at achieving C-type goals. Of course, is the one that we just went over, was writing down the goal clearly, right? But also too specifically, and to, how some people are like, because I always used to, like, I ask my mentors, and I also to listen to Kevin Trudeau, and he is always saying, like, you're not smart enough to know when exactly the day that you're going to achieve the thing, right? And then all my other mentors that have studied him, been mentored by him, and all the greats in the world, they're always telling me, like, yes, you're not intelligent enough to know the exact date of when the thing is going to happen, but you having a specific goal, and you know what you want and when you want, and having that date is more so of a drive, right? But you shouldn't be attached to the date, okay? And you should understand that the date can change. Life happens. Life is real. Life be life in all the time. And you may have a set goal for your for quarter one, right? Quarter one's almost over. And I have two specific goals that I want to accomplish before March 31st. And it's okay, you guys, if the goal for the day that you have doesn't happen, right? The point is not to be attached to the date, right? But the date is to give you urgency and drive so you don't procrastinate and you don't slow down, right? But the format of writing things that you have with dates, and I'll just give you an example that I wrote down for the call, right? Um, where is it? Okay, there it is. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am earning over $20,000 a month in profit through three different streams of income. by December 31st, 2025 or sooner, right? And when he had told me that, I was just like, Bobby P missed this part because he's giving me, what do you mean, or sooner? Like, but the or sooner aspect is to, just take away that aspect of limiting beliefs and how, like, we hesitate sometimes when we write these goals and when we have a date. Sometimes we don't even really believe that we'll be able to accomplish it by that date or by that time frame, right? Because there's a weight and there's this, tension of like, okay, maybe, maybe not. And you have all of these things, right? And one of the points of how to be effective with, accomplishing C type goals is to not be attached to the how, right? Don't be attached to how it's
Mm.
going to happen. You writing this date down or you writing that time frame down is not to put pressure on yourself. It's just to have urgency, but also to when you have or sooner, that is limitless possibilities because dreaming bigger much sooner is even in your C type goals. That's what they're for. So whenever you're writing a goal with a date, put or sooner. Don't limit yourself because you don't know when the date is going to happen. And for me personally, like that was that was such a relief for me personally because like I would always be like contemplating, like when I write goals down, looking at the calendar, I'm like realistically, like, am I, and then, even from the questions that you read, like these questions align with the concept that he was teaching about putting like or sooner because most of the time, limiting beliefs are the reason why you put down what you put down. Because you're writing as the person you are now. You're not writing as the new identity. You're not writing as the person that you will be. So, writing the format like that is not only thinking in the end in mind, removing all limits, all, the cap that you have on yourself with your goals and everything like that. But it's also to just being able to write your goals confidently, and personally for me, like I love writing my goals now because I'm like, or sooner, because it could happen tomorrow, like, or it could happen this day, but there's no attachment. There's no attachment to the date, right? The goal is the goal. The goal is the goal and feeling emotionally attached to it, So that's one thing that I wanted to share. And outside of writing down your goals clearly and specifically and having clear vision, I already gave you guys the third one, detach the how and trust the process.
Mm.
That's how you're going to effectively achieve C type goals. And then the fourth one is strengthening your mindset and your faith. And that's why I said what I said earlier. C type goals cannot happen without being backed up by your faith and belief. You have to believe what you're writing down. You have to trust what you're writing down, right? Because it doesn't matter that it doesn't sound realistic, right? It's supposed to be a deep desire and it's supposed to stretch you and it's supposed to be what it says. The question that you ask, does this goal make you feel jazzed or safe? you know, um, so yeah, and then also to the last two things is overcome your fears and shift your paradigm. Find the things that you think that are normal, but that are not. Identify the thoughts and the beliefs that you have when it comes to your success and finances and the goals that you want. Because we all have paradigms, we all have certain programmings, certain belief systems that are given to us that are not us. So overcoming those is really important when it comes to achieving C type goals because sometimes it's just a belief that you have. Whatever you believe will be your reality, right?
Mm.
And then the last one is take inspired action daily. Because if you're not moving towards that, even if you don't know how, then it's nothing, but you have to work from the end in mind, right? So you have to move and speak as if it already happened, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Who is that version? Like, how is that version of you that's already accomplished that goal, that's already making that type of money? How do they speak? How do they dress? How do they build relationships? How do they move with their business? What are their habits? and how do they do things. So that's why when the format of this writing goals, it made so much sense because if I am that version of me, I am writing my goals like this because everything works in my favor. And everything that I think about, I make sure that it happens no matter when it happens. Again, the attachment is not for the date, right? It's for the goal and the feeling of the goal. And you should feel confident and courageous and even nervous writing your goals. Your C-type goals. But yeah.
Oh, I love it. I actually have something for you guys, which is the actual manifestation script framework that one of my mentors gave me. And in this process, what we've done over the last, it's taken a little bit of time, but if you guys want to get really dialed in with your just future life, future goals, I'm gonna send this link. It's to a Google Doc. And it's got you can take this framework, put it in ChatGPT, and then fill in kind of the things that it has for you to fill in, and then take like your phone audio recording and read this to yourself, and then play that every single morning when you wake up. And I've been doing this with my own for the last couple weeks, and oh my goodness, like you can encompass your C-type goal in this, but it'll give you the framework, the feelings, like how does this person feel? How do I feel when I wake up in the morning knowing my goal's already done? How do I feel when I've accomplished these things? And so I'm gonna drop that link in the chat if I can figure out links.
Yeah.
Sometimes. There we go. And if you guys have to request edit, I honestly just whatever you guys have to do to make sure that you get it, I would copy it. Um, don't delete it, maybe. I don't know if I did it right, so you tell me. You guys can see it. I would copy it, try not to delete anything, and then obviously craft your things inside ChatGPT.
That's lit.
Um, But
Copy
yeah,
it.
it has a little thing. Plug this into ChatGPT, add your own description to it, read it out loud till it feels right. For reference, I've been crafting mine out for the last 2 weeks. It might take a second to like really get down to the nitty-gritty of like, how does this piece make me feel? How does this make me feel? And then you'll have an audio you can listen to of yourself talking about your goals.
I love
It's
that.
just
And that's awesome because it ties into auto suggestion.
Mhm.
And Tony Robbins teach a little bit about it. Neville Goddard as well. But you'll be able to hear the belief in your voice when you're doing this. And it's funny because sometimes that's really what it took like for me to hear or see myself like from the third perspective or hear myself to be like, girl, what are you doing? You sound like you do not believe this. Hold on, let me fix my posture because I believe this. And it like
Yeah.
makes you correct yourself. Like, because that's one of the things in entrepreneurship when we started, and especially me wanting to be a speaker, and I started speaking, I started being asked to go to events and everything, and I would go back and I would hear myself, and I'm like, what is this?
What
This
is
is
this?
this is not, because in your mind, how you perceive things, and then when it's actually being done, it's a total difference. So I love this, and I'm excited for this. That's
Oh,
awesome.
it's so good, guys. It's so good. Here's mine, just like so you guys can hear like a little beginning part of it. You freaking did it. You have become everything you once dreamed of and more. You were the first. So like you gotta get into the feeling. Like you freaking did it. Like however it excites you to talk about your goals from your own perspective as your older self. Ugh, it's a game changer.
I love that. That's
Um,
amazing. That's a gem. Thanks for that.
For sure. And if you guys aren't using ChatGPT, I don't know what we're doing. Like AI is so helpful.
No, for real. For real, ChatGPT has definitely been helpful, especially if you know how to utilize it. The more you guys personalize it, the more you tell ChatGPT about you, what you do, the gems, the
Yeah.
values, real.
But I want to kind of open it up. If you guys have any questions, if you guys want to go over, maybe if you want to read your goal, um, let's because here's the fact check. Here's the community check. If you don't smile while you're telling us your goal, you don't feel it. So we'll be able to help you out.
Yes, and this is completely family, no judgment here, but the goal is to, really see where you're at. And and again, sometimes you have a perspective of you, but having outside eyes and, perspectives, it helps. It makes you pivot for sure.
But yeah, the floor is yours.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
I am so happy and grateful now that I am earning $100,000 a month passively by December 31st, 2030
Or sooner.
Or
or
sooner,
sooner.
period. Let's
Get
go.
freaking go, man.
There you go. And I saw that smile. You felt that 100,000. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Awesome. That's amazing.
Now, how does that make you feel, Eugene?
Amazing. Like, I, pardon the language, but I fucking did it. Went through all of the challenges. Yeah,
You
I
Mm-hmm.
became
faced all the challenges. I faced my fears. I became the person that I wanted to become,
Mm-hmm.
and I accomplished that goal.
Amazing.
You did it, man.
Let's
C-type
go.
goal, and then we can reverse engineer it, and we'll get into that probably later in the next like calls and stuff. But reverse engineering, because I actually had a friend this week ask me about her goals, and she was like telling me basically like daily method of operation. She's like, but I can only believe for this, and I was like, okay, but it needs to be attached to a C-type goal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but she didn't want to get too big. She didn't want to freak herself out. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, that's our daily method of action, daily method of operation. That's
Yeah.
not our goals. Because once we
Mm-hmm.
break it down, we know how to get. Now we've mapped out a plan for that C-type goal. Um, and so
Mm-hmm.
as long as the C-type goal makes you excited, like brings that smile to your face, the next piece of the puzzle that we can control is the daily method of action, daily method of operation. And then there still has to be the magic that happens. We still don't know how to do everything. So there
Yeah.
has to be the people that come into the place, the things that are off your radar screen, the moments and
Mm-hmm.
circumstances, guys. Literally, while we're on this call, I finally got the last bit of the resistance done for this thing to happen.
Let's
And it's
go.
like I didn't have to do anything. I just got a message and it was like, cool, it's good. Go for it. And I'm like, no, I'm freaking out because I'm like, I get to go take the next step and all the green lights are there. And so it's like, we don't know how it's going to happen
Yeah. No, for
at
real.
all, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Just in psycho cybernetics, and you said it, and you just like things. Just yeah, don't worry about the outcome or how it's going to happen, and just let your creative mechanism do its
Yeah.
thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, friend.
So
Success
you
is a
said you use GPT to like and to record your voice too, doing that, or how did you?
I actually just recorded it on the voice recording on the phone. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I took that script that I gave you guys and I took that, copied it put it into ChatGPT, and then I filled out like what I wanted because that'll give you little prompts for kind of
Mhm.
like how you want to go about writing your goals into
Yeah,
there. And then I recorded that with my voice recording on my phone.
that's good.
Mhm. Man, I'm so excited. I can feel Eugene's like, I can feel it.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna do that because that's awesome. Like you just I could listen to that like before I go to bed, listen to it
Yeah.
when I get up in the morning.
First 15 minutes of the day, last 15 minutes of the day are the two most powerful 15 minutes of your subconscious mind because that's actually when you get into, is it theta or delta state? Is it theta? I think it's theta.
yeah, it's later.
Theta brainwaves.
Hmm.
That's when our subconscious mind is the most easily influenced. And so
Yeah.
if we're influencing good things with our own voice, with our own belief system, with that, that's
Hmm. That's powerful. Yeah. They call that the baby state because babies are always in theta. That's why when they're little, they absorb and they mimic and they repeat everything they see. And that happens for us as adults first few minutes, 30 minutes when we wake up.
it's a big, big life hack.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
let's
Yep.
see. Aaron, you got something? Maybe Simon as well?
If not, no pressure.
Yeah, no worries if not.
Hmm.
I am so happy and grateful that I've made over $70,000 for my graphic designs on my design sites by the end of 2025 or sooner.
Amen.
Amen, brother.
How you feel about that?
Feel great, feel very confident. And like I said, the skill set, the time that I put in, and more people are seeing my graphic designs, resonating with my work, promoting my work. So I'm seeing everything align and I'm just very grateful for it. So, like I said, this recent project I did was really amazing. And I'm just also excited about, like I said, the future. And like I said, building on that. So,
Hmm.
and I'm going to be posting a lot of my work on here and also other things that I'm working on as well.
Love it. Let's go.
There you go. Any way that we can support you, shout you out, Aaron, let us know. We got
For
you.
Yeah, thank you.
sure, for sure. Amazing. That's
Now,
phenomenal.
my question for you is, was that a stretch for the actual dollar number, or is that kind of playing it safe?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit of a stretch, maybe just a little bit, but like I said, I definitely see it. I definitely vision it. So I don't think it's something that I can accomplish. Definitely be something new, but like I said, my mindset is there. Like I said, my work ethic is there, and like I said, I know what I bring.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
That's
I was
good.
like,
As long as
I
it's a
can feel
stretch
it.
and you've never done it before, it's a C type for sure. I love that. That's amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing, amazing. That was fire. That was fire. So grateful for you and this training. It was very intentional. These questions were bomb.
Dude, these questions were bomb this week. You know what's crazy, guys? If you guys go back and you see the call last week, we had just like the idea of doing the C-type goals because we were talking about.
Yeah.
Um, and then on Monday, my mentor was like, "We're doing C-type goals." It's like, this is amazing. I get like just inundated with all of this information that re-sparked all of the things that I was like gonna be doing anyway this week, but to hear it from
Mhm.
them, and to be in such an alignment with that, I was like, yeah, we're right on track. We're right on track.
Mhm. I love it. I love it. This was phenomenal. As always, girl, thank you for being you. Thank you for being a partner, a best friend, and always showing up and doing this with me. So grateful for you. Thank you for all you guys that tuned in, and also to thank you for the people that are rewatching on YouTube. We're grateful for you. Take one thing or all of it and apply. You have 48 hours before it just slips out of your mind, and never stop working on your mind for sure.
That's so freaking good. And Simon, if you want to drop anything in the chat or unmute, I know that you don't have to, so if you don't want to, no worries. But um, if you do want to speak, feel free. And other than that, we will see you guys next week for another
Yeah,
call.
thank you guys for letting me be a part of this and for letting me express, giving me a channel to express the things that I learned throughout the week.
It's
Like
okay.
I tell Grace this all the time that this is one of the highlights of my week is being a part of Separation Saturday.
Oh,
So
Love
here's
it.
thank you.
Of course, always, anytime, definitely. Oh, I think Grace froze.
the
Oh, I hear you though. I hear you. But of course, Eugene, all the time, anytime, always. This is why we do these calls. Literally started as a thought, and then we took action, and we've been doing it consistently, going on a few years now. So definitely grateful for it, and that's the goal, to always have a space where people can constantly expand and grow their mind, but also to learn. Life definitely needs to happen together, and that's how we learn the best. But I'll catch you guys next Saturday. Tell a friend, bring a friend, and be great and be intentional, and remember that we get miracles and we expect them always. Later.